Welcome, everybody, to the world premiere. This is the world premiere of the 1111 podcast, presented to you by Husk and hosted by yours truly, Jay Steele. Husk is the House of Steel Collective. Not only is a sponsor, but it is the engine behind what we do. We're going to make some dreams come true, man. We're building businesses. We are looking at life here in America through an entirely different lens, because the way that we've looked at it before really hasn't advanced us or gotten us where we want to go. So I just want to make sure that I do a good enough job of creating a platform and an environment where we can start working on the most important thing that is missing from Black, brown, and poor white communities. It's trust. I'm the guy that's going to tell you how to build it. Welcome to the cast. Hey, welcome to the podcast. 11. This is our cast. So all my Spanish-speaking brothers out there, bienvenidos a la 11 podcast. 11. It's still 11. Yeah. So we got to tell you what this is 11 is all about. We're having fun, but I'm glad you're here. We've got to define what the whole movement is, because we're creating something that requires your direct participation. Everyone wants to talk about faith, but faith without works is dead. We're going to talk about the works that needs to take place. We're done talking about racism. We're talking about uplifting and building. Welcome to the podcast. So I'd like to really start by kind of telling you guys the aura of 1111. It's the type of aura that brings forth purpose, people, passion, and a particular set of skills that just allows everyone to provide their best efforts, their talent, their time, and their resources. It's something that you guys are already doing. A lot of people are already doing all over the world. You're participating in organizations that you contribute funds. I'll point out one in particular. An example would be the Black Church. Collects $12 billion per year. And I swear I'm not a hater. That's good stuff. I'm not hating on that at all, right? Yeah, but what's really happening, particularly with the funding that comes into these churches and these organizations, we're not really sure how the investments are going. Where is the money going to? And we don't want to really criticize anyone. That's not really our lane. What I really wanted to point out was the dollar amount. We are able to contribute, and I'm talking about the Black community, $12 billion a year towards church and worship. And if we can generate that type of income, I believe if we had a plan, an actual plan, we could turn that into a co-op that invest in 5 specific areas. And what this podcast is going to do over the next few weeks is we're going to dive into each of those areas to show how we can make direct impact. Not wait on the government. Not wait on hands out. We don't need hands out. The government is actually shut down right now. It is unreal that the government has been shut down this long, but it's forcing we the people to understand something. Our wonderful nation deserves a government that stays open all of the time. As my main man, Barack Obama would say, don't boo, donate some money. Well, he'll say vote. I'm saying donate money. I'm going to break all this down in the next few weeks. We're going to talk about how we can strategically rebuild our communities back better. I know you guys cannot be proud of the fact, Black community, a dollar stays in the hood for 6 hours. That's all. And it's gone. Hispanic community, don't get too excited. A dollar stays in your community for a day to 2 days, but no more than 48 hours. So as we see what's happening, as we see what is going on, we're noticing that the very blood that nourishes our communities, capital, money, it escapes the body in less than 2 days. And we point to everything that they are showing us on the news. We point to that. And we say, that's the reason, that's the blame, that's the reason why. I'm here to help you figure out really what is going on. We're going to come up with some real answers to the problems that have plagued us ever since the civil rights movement ended. We call it racism, but racism is a father. Racism is the founding father of the United States of America. And racism had children. Poverty, violence, hunger, depression, anxiety. All of those are the children of racism here in America. And what those children are designed to do is to keep you hoping and wishing for an opportunity of fair play. That's all it's designed to do. And as you hope and wish and hope and wish, your anxiety increases and your level of depression just goes deeper and deeper and deeper because you are now associating this with you lacking something. Something's wrong with you. You don't have what you need. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not driven enough. You're not rich enough. You're not enough. And that's what capitalism in America produces. Feelings of not enough for the vast majority of people who are participating. See, we called it a dream because it really is a dream. The American dream is based upon who can create and who can produce that creation for mass consumption. That is the essence of capitalism. But if you're going to someone's job every day, you're not producing. You're not. You're creating, you're making that dream come true for that person who owns that company or that business. You are a dream maker for others. You're not a dream catcher. You're not a dream chaser who successfully catches it. You're not the hunter. And none of us have been the hunter. We've not been told to be the hunter. Imagine this. Imagine a world where, I mean, people that know me, they know I'm a hooper by blood, not relation. I'm a hooper by heart, man. And I'm still 55 years old. I'm ready to hoop right now. In fact, I'm probably going to hoop when I get done podcasting. And for those that follow me, you know, I'll post a little footage on the book, just so y'all know. I still got that. I'm still like that. Now imagine we went to the park and there's, gosh, man, it's 44, 45 people there, 45 guys waiting to run. Only 10 can play. Excuse me. Only 10 can play at a time, right? There's 45 people there. So we got 35 waiting. We hollering, you know, we called it get next. I got rise, I got next. And one of those 10 that are playing is Joey. And Joey, he comes to the hood, but he don't live in the hood. And Joey comes from a real good family, and his family's got a lot of money. They own real estate, lots and lots of real estate. They are invested in the stock market. So they're definitely capitalists. And they've got diversified portfolios. They're doing really well. And they've even taught Johnny about financial literacy. They made sure Johnny is financially literate. But Johnny's at the park and we're hooping. And Johnny has decided that because I'm hot and I have not missed, I've made 6 consecutive shots. Johnny's my teammate. And Johnny's upset because I won't pass him the ball. So Johnny just gets upset, takes his ball, and he goes home. Game's over. There's 44 of us left behind who can't hoop because we got no ball. That's what it's like being black and brown living in the United States of America. That's what it's like for 11% of the Caucasian population here in America who's poor, who's living in poverty. Johnny always, I mean, Joey, he always gets mad, takes his ball home. And I believe that the 44 of us should get out of that emotional state we're in. Oh, Johnny's soft, he's a sucker, Johnny this, Johnny that. And we spend 30 minutes talking about Johnny when all we had to do was each pull $1 out of our wallet and go to the store and buy 2 basketballs and get back to hooping. And that's what I'm asking you guys to do. I'm asking you to stop complaining about Johnny taking his damn ball so we can get back to hooping. I know y'all want this work. I know y'all do. So we at the park, we hooping. Oh my God. Forgot I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Sorry, Fayetteville. You know I love you, Fayetteville. You're my home now. I've been here since 2001, about 24 years. I love Fayetteville, North Carolina. We get a bad rap, but there's violence around because there's mass poverty around. And the poverty that is around, it looks like me. It looks like my wife, who happens to be Latina. That's what the poverty looks like where I live. It looks like that 11% that I talked about, Caucasian population. Yeah, we've got poor white people in our community too. And as a point of reference, we can talk about the impact of the government shutdown and how it's worsened. It's literally worsened the problem. People call it food insecurity. Man, I'm from the 70s in the South, man, from Thomasville, North Carolina. Thomasville, stand up and get busy. Get that fear out of you. You know what I mean? Get busy. Let them people back in the hometown know that that stadium, that the football games are played, the high school football that y'all love so much, it needs to have Akeem Davis Gaither's name on that stadium. I told y'all I'm here to stand up for black and brown people. He's the greatest athlete to ever live in that city. And all of the money those black kids made that city from playing football, selling those tickets in high school football games. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's time. You got the stadium named after a man who ain't even from Thomasville. Get real. Get real, man. But anyway, don't let racism fly over your head. You know, it's a better way to market the stadium, to bring revenue to the high school, is if you cooperate and work with Akeem and give him his just due. He's earned it. He had to get it from the mud because the plan was obvious from the beginning in 1776. Founding fathers is what you referenced them in every history class I ever took. And I took a bunch of them. Even that was my major in college. Every time you told us the same story, the founding fathers. Well, when it comes to generational wealth, I need you guys to think about this for a moment. What if you came up with a plan that generated generational wealth for your family? What if you really, really scored on that idea, right? You made it come to fruition and the money started flowing, man. You got it from the bottom way up there. You know what I mean? Higher than a camel's butt. You 1%. And with that wealth, I come to you and I say to you, hey, look, I've already told you that 11% of white people in America live in poverty. And I want you to give money to them to help them come out of poverty. And when you do, they're going to compete directly with your children. And I can assure you, universally, the answer is going to be the same. You guys are going to say, no, no thanks. I don't want to do that. I'm not taking money and food out of my kids' mouth to give it to some other kids. Well, that's what's been going on since 1776. A group of people have decided that they are in control, and due to their skin color, they decide who gets to participate in capitalism. I'm not making this up, it's real. I have all the research, I have all the statistics. And over the next few weeks, I'll go through this. I'll let you know that there are 900 million acres of farmland in America. And white people own 98% of that. Land holdings are wealth. I'll let you know that of the banking institutions and credit unions in America, 97% are owned by white people. So I own the banks that allow you to apply for loans so that you can buy a farm, but there's very limited farms because they're already owned by us. Something called the Homestead Act probably helped that out. Who knows? So banking, nope. Land holdings, nope. Education, well, sounds like they're going to try to erase the history book soon. That's what I hear. I don't know. But if we built our own schools, developed our own curriculum, taught our own history, but beyond history, teach the future, teach quantum computing, teach how we use AI, master that. Because AI won't take every job. It will take the jobs of those that don't know how to use it. And these are things that I discuss, but these are things that I do. I put it into action. I created this whole podcast in a week using AI. And here we are. And we may not have a big audience today. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to spark the conversation. The goal was for us to begin discussing how we can change things, like really. It's not through protesting. You guys are protesting a No Kings movement, No Kings Day. You guys realize that kings exist outside of the government. You're pointing at the president, saying No Kings Day, but kings don't exist inside of the government in modern times. Y'all ever heard of King Charles in England? He got a whole prime minister running his government. The king sits out in the back in Buckingham Palace. And the prime minister got to go check in, let him know what's going on. Kind of like what happens probably down at Mar-a-Lago. Y'all keep blaming the man for playing golf. All he doing is going to huddle up with his billionaire friends. I mean, do you not realize that most business takes place on a golf course here in America? It's nature's boardroom. See, these are the things. I've had the ability to access a lot of different environments and learn a lot of things over my life. I was born into poverty, but I was determined not to stay in it. And that same determination can be contagious. If you're sitting with the right people, if you're having the right conversations, if you're digesting the right information, turn those damn TVs off, guys. Really. Turn your TVs off. Turn the noise down and start understanding that racism is systemic and you got to have a systemic solution to it. Systemic solutions are co-ops. Let me give you a quick example about a co-op. So, co-ops are designed for people, regular, ordinary people, to be able to pool their money, pull it together in a pool. And from that pool, there is an administrative body that is designed to tell you where this money's going to go, line item by line item. Accountability and transparency is key to establishing the trust that we need in our communities to make these significant changes. So again, Johnny took his ball and he don't want to hoop with y'all. He don't want to play with y'all. Get your own ball. Start building your own banks. We don't have enough farming. We don't control our own food source. I just told you that 98% of 900 million acres of farming is controlled by white people. How's that different than 1864? How? How's that different than 1800? They still own all of the plantations. Guys, come on, man. This has been decades, centuries of the same garbage. You're arguing about the things that are not relevant or important. You can't even look, Black people, brown people, you can't even look at each other, Blacks and Hispanics, and identify that y'all got the same great-great-grandmama from West Africa. Huh? The drum, just a drum beat. Do-doom, do-doom, do-doom. That'll give the secret away. Salsa, merengue, Afrobeats, all woven and interconnected. Because the truth of the matter is, when those first slave ships left West Africa, Nigeria, my original home, they did not come to these United States of America. They didn't get here till 1619. Over 150 years later, they went to the Caribbean first. So it is the Caribbean that owns the oldest link to Africa. But y'all gonna tell them they not Black. And some of them gonna tell themselves, I know Black. The fact that you don't trust being Black enough is half of the problem. So that is your brother and your sister. But let's flip it. Let's flip it, because I included 11% of the majority population. They're only the majority. That's a small majority. 56% of America's population is now Caucasian. And this is why so many people are acting out. That wasn't the number when I was born. But that number's been coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down, because America keeps getting browner and browner and browner by the day. And somebody's working really hard to convince those folks that they don't belong with their Black brothers and sisters. And we don't do a good job of treating them well enough. Maybe it's the language barrier sometimes. You know what I mean? People get lost in the sauce. I'm here to make sure you guys understand that if you connect with one another, because the same problems we're having are universal. If I went into a bank today to start a business and I asked for a loan, if my credit score was identical to Joey, who we spoke of earlier, and to Juan, my Hispanic brother, my friend, if we all had identical credit scores, all had identical employment histories, if that was the truth, if all things were equal, I can assure you that Jay and my boy Juan are not leaving with the loan. Because the man that owns the bank, he connects and he relates better to a person from his community. What you know intimately, you naturally will trust. I want to be able to go into a Black bank. I want to be able to go into a Hispanic credit union and let them know I've got an incredible idea for a business. And not only do they look and check the credit score, they check my background. They find out I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. I'm a good dude. Try to be good to people. You know what I mean? Try to uplift other folks. So they may look at my character as well as my credit score. They may have done business with a friend of mine or a family member, and they had a really, really good experience. So they're like, yeah, we're going to work with you too. And if you know somebody else, bring them by. This is the collaboration. This is the co-op theory that we're talking about. Don't let a party be the only time you co-op. When you guys run out of alcohol, beer run, that's the first thing that's hollered, right? Beer run. You are co-oping then. Everybody puts money in so we can get more. Or what about that girls trip? 4 y'all heading down to Atlanta from North Carolina, 4-hour drive. You splitting gas, snacks. You're only getting 2 hotel rooms, 2 ladies to a room. So you split all the fees, so things ain't so hard on you when you go down there for your trip. You're co-oping. So you like to co-op for fun. Why am I laughing? You co-oping for fun, but you won't co-op to make sure that you and your people that look like you, people that you trust the most, control your food supply. You don't have farms. You don't have grocery stores. You don't have schools. You don't have banks. You don't have the infrastructure to counteract racism. The key to racism is money. I can assure you, LeBron James does not experience what I experience in my life. We can keep going. It doesn't have to be an athlete. I know those are the people that you trust the most because those are the people that are worshiped the most, celebrities. It could be someone like Robert F. Smith, the wealthiest black man in America, who's an absolute genius in the financial tech sector. See, this is a person that we need to kind of partner with and let him mentor. John Hope Bryant, another incredible person in financial literacy with Operation Hope. He's someone that we need to partner with. We need to find black and brown farmers, start investing in land, buy farming equipment. Co-op can do that. Emergency loans for families that are struggling, people that are hit hard by a government shutdown. Yeah, a co-op can help them with a $2,000 grant each year, just in case they run into those problems. We want to keep people afloat. You know how close people are to homelessness? 2 missed paychecks? People on the verge. We got to get ready to do this thing. Guys, I'm not just talking about stuff. Like, check my resume, man. Google me. Google Jonathan Steele, AFG Local 1770, Food Drive. Google that. And what you're going to find is that this is stuff we've done here in Fayetteville before. Me and my friends from a labor union. All races, all backgrounds, all colors. We did not always get along, but we were always family. Families don't always get along. This particular family that I was leading was able to take 20,000 tons of food to Spring Lake, North Carolina, right outside of Fayetteville, and feed an entire community. Not just government employees, not just active duty soldiers and their family members. We fed them too. But just regular folk from Spring Lake, North Carolina, that were having an incredibly difficult time with life. Because that 2013 government shutdown, yeah, it wreaked havoc. It was an issue that, quite frankly, I didn't understand until I saw it. I had to witness it. I had to see it in person. It was incredible to see how many people were simply in need. And it wasn't people that looked healthy that were coming by just picking up free food. You could tell. You can tell these people weren't well taken care of. And just their physical appearance, yeah, it looked like they were hungry. So we fed. We fed and we fed. And it's one of the greatest days I have ever witnessed in my life. It gave me life to see other people being taken care of. I'll never be able to thank that crew of people that were with me in those times. I think of you guys often. I don't see you all often, but I think of you often. Yeah, this is what I want to get back to. This is what I want to create with this 1111 podcast. The podcast is just intended so that we can control our own narrative, so that we can tell the world what we go through, what we experience. But not only that, because the habit has been too long, we identify the problem. I apologize, guys. Give me a second to get used to the studio. We identify the problem and we complain about the problem. And we complain about the problem. And then we find other people who agree with us, who will also help us Do what? Complain about the problem. That's all we do. Come on, man. Like we're too mature. I believe we're too mature to continue to do this. Mama, we was down at the basketball court and Joey got mad because I was getting buckets. And then he took his ball home and we couldn't play no more. All 44 of us. We all had money, but instead of putting our money together and getting us a ball so we can hoop, we was like, bye, Joey. You so stupid. You such a hater. Yo, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. I don't know what to tell y'all. We can sit here and continue to complain about the same stuff. We shall overcome. Go out and vote. Go out and let the electoral college fool you into believing that you are helping determine the next president of the United States. The next employee for the Kings. That's what you should be referencing when you discuss the president. Yeah, discuss that. Discuss how they never, ever have to pay full taxes, the billionaire class. Discuss that. You think the president is a king. Let me ask you this. Does the president own military satellites that other foreign countries are using? And does he have the ability to shut those satellites off? He doesn't. Elon Musk does, though. That's a king. See, y'all can't even recognize what kings are. Kings have kingdoms. And in kingdoms, they have an entire ecosystem and they don't need anything from anybody else. They work with other people. They collaborate with others. Collaboration brings more wealth. So they collaborate with one another, but they don't need each other. They don't. The collaboration brings them more money. So instead of Elon Musk being at $300 million as he was around the time of COVID, he's now at worth $500 billion. There's your king right there. Did you do a protest for him? Did you do a protest for, let me think of somebody else. I don't know, Jeff Bezos. You do a protest for him? Mm-mm. Oh, I'm on my man's platform right now. You doing for Zuck? You doing for Mark Zuck? No king protest? I bet you didn't. I didn't even do it. You know why? You can't protest what you using. Come on, fellas, ladies, join me. Join me in a common sense discussion, please. Because all of the crying and the whining, I am tired of hearing it. See, we're looking at this situation through the eyes of a victim. And for many years in my life, I felt like a victim. Not just a victim in America, but even the way that we grow up sometimes. We don't get all the breaks that we think we earn. We don't get all the love and support that we feel like we should have gotten. So we get a little frustrated with ourselves. And once we don't figure out what to do with that frustration, it becomes trauma. And then we start acting out of the trauma. And I did that for, let me see, 50 years, just acting out of trauma. Relationships don't work out. A lot of things don't work out. And you're looking at the other person as if there's something wrong with them. It was always one of those times where I just needed to take a look in the mirror and understand trauma can't run my life. I'm fully aligned with my creator. I was sent here on earth not to preach, but to create. And what I'm looking at doing right now is creating an environment in which people that look like me and the people that I love, and I do love people of every shade of color. Don't ever, ever, ever get that twisted. I just want capitalism to have compassion. And I cannot expect that from the people who invented capitalism, the descendants of those who invented this system. They don't want us to participate. They own the banks, they own the land. They will not allow us to start businesses with capital more times than not, even if we've got same credit scores. And you're trying to get a mortgage, a loan for your mortgage, you're running into the same problem. You're trusting a food supply from people who don't want you to participate in an open and free market. How can you logically think it's okay to eat the food of the people who won't even do business with you? Man, I don't feel like doing this all day. I need y'all to work with me and cooperate and wake up. We need our own system, not segregation. No, that's not what I'm talking about. We need our own system. We need our own banks where we can go get money and loans from. We need to see doctors that look like us. We need to see people that look like us when we go to a physician's office, who understand not only the culture, but slang, things that we say, little sayings that we have that would let an astute physician understand that there's something going wrong with this particular person. Yeah. We need those. We need those interactions. If the Black woman is the most educated woman in America, in the world, most educated person in America currently, I think that Black woman deserves to be able to see a Black doctor that can speak her language. I do. I think that Latina deserves to see a Latina when she goes to the doctor's office. We still got women of our culture going to see gynecologists of other races. Come on, man, let's protect our women a little bit better than that. I'm talking about protection for a reason, because that's lacking in the community as well. People want to spread videos of the Winans pastor, I think it was Marvin, telling the lady $1,200 ain't enough. I told you $2,000. Look at that video again and tell me how many men you see sitting in the audience. Our Black women in church unprotected. Where I grew up, a woman just bringing you $1,200 cash. I ain't gonna go there today. All that is awkward energy. And I'm not here to complain about anyone. I'm here to let you guys know that we have an incredible moment in front of us. The cutoff of SNAP benefits. When you see who controls everything, banks, land, everything. When you look at who controls capitalism, how in the hell can 36%, the largest majority of the people on SNAP benefits, be white? I'm sure you guys are asking that. But if you look at it from the right lens, white people are the majority, 56%. So if 11% of them are living in poverty, they're going to have the largest share of people who are poor. So by the numbers, there are poor white people in America than any other race, right? By sheer numbers, there's more white people. So there's going to be more poor white people. I ain't got no problem with no poor white person. Are you kidding me? When I was stationed in Mount Home, Idaho, I had a neighbor next door to me. He was E2 in the Air Force. He wasn't making a lot of money. He had 5 children, all under the age of 8 years old. And on a regular basis, he was a guy that worked on the flight lines and he worked shift. And on a regular basis, one of those babies were going to escape the grasp of their mother, who was a wonderful person. And they'd knock on my door and they'd say, "Mr. J, we're hungry." Mr. J didn't ask no questions, man. We broke bread. Me and them babies ate every time they came by. Mama would get mad, daddy would get mad. They ate every time. I told them I'm never going to turn a hungry child away from me. Now, how do you flip all this stuff forward? All these interactions. As I'm on my way out of there, as I'm leaving the Air Force, all the lawn equipment that I had. And it's hard as hell to grow grass in Idaho, man. You got to water grass. You're on a schedule. So if you live on this side of the street, you watering Monday, other side water Tuesday, but you got to water every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You get tickets for brown grass. It's in the desert. So it requires a lot of water and nourishment. And I was out there just watering. I took so much pride in that green grass in the desert. But I gave all my equipment to my man next door. His yard didn't look as good because he didn't have all the tools. All he needed was the tools. He had the work ethic. Yeah, he was a hard worker, talented young man, but he was facing adversity financially. And how dare anyone look at someone's skin color and determine whether they're going to feed them or not? Look, you guys put all your faith in Republicans and Democrats all you want to. But ain't one Republican and ain't one Democrat came and fed nobody in Spring Lake when me and my crew took that 20,000 pounds of food out there. 2 food trucks. See, no Republicans and Democrats, wasn't no mayors, wasn't no congressmen, wasn't no governor, no lieutenant governor, no state senator, wasn't none of them. Them gerrymandering, map drawing jokers here in North Carolina, wasn't none of them showing up to feed nobody. Because that's the job of we the people. Government isn't designed to save us. We are quite capable of doing it on our own. It all requires a little bit of humanity and a little bit of compassion. That is all that's required. I trust that you've got some compassion and some humanity in you. And if you do, I have created the system that could take us to new heights. Now, don't get me wrong, things are disproportionate. Again, I told you by numbers, 50%, 56% of Americans that are white are the population. But 76% of our millionaires and billionaires are also white. That lets you know by sheer numbers that the system is not created for full participation because capitalism requires a poor class of people. I'm not Webster, but look up capitalize in the dictionary. You got to take advantage of somebody. And it's the poor people that will be taken advantage of. So this isn't black versus white. This isn't brown versus red. This isn't Asian versus Jewish. I told you, black community, you keep $1 in your hood for 6 hours. Why are you dying to spend money everywhere else but with your people? Is it that you don't have any businesses left? Yeah. The numbers say that. 87% of businesses in America that employ people are owned by white people. They're doing their job. Like, I want to make sure we're clear here. If you are able to switch seats with a Bezos or a Zuckerberg, would you make sure the whole country was on? Or would you take care of you, yours, and the people that meant the most to you? It's easy to say you would do the right thing, but you would never know because you're never going to be in that position until you start trusting people that look like you. Because that's what he does. That's what Elon Musk does. He trusts people that looks like him. See, all the kings, they locked in and they trust each other enough to do business with one another. They may not trust each other enough to go on vacay together. They might not trust each other enough for one to dog sit or to babysit, but they trust each other enough to do business. You don't trust yourselves. I can show you the plan, but until you build enough trust, nothing's going to work. You're going to continue to be the side dudes and the side chicks of American capitalism. I want my own. I ain't into sharing. I don't do the share thing. I want my own. I want the opportunity to create ideas, to go to a bank, to discuss those with a loan officer, to work out an arrangement, because most businesses aren't going to make money the first year. So it's okay. It's understandable. Financial literacy. I want to be able to make sure that a $250 course is offered to every person in this country who makes collectively less than $50,000 a year. That should be given. That's a given. We offer that $250 for financial literacy or $250 for a new pair of Jordans. I know what decision is made in my community. I don't know about the well, I do. Hispanic community, you too. The numbers tell me the same thing. Y'all gonna get them J's. That money leaving the community. Because the J's aren't Nikes, they're Nikes. So that money gone. It's out. I know the decision you're gonna make. This is what we're talking about. We got to get to the point where we make better decisions. I ain't wearing somebody's label just to wear somebody's label. I got on my puppy shirt right now. This is a mixture of two poodles, two mini poodles that are my little fur daughters, Camila and Imani. I ain't getting ready to wear no labels. You see a swoosh on this? I wish. I wish I would. I wish I would to make everybody else rich. I'm going to look good whether I put Nike on or not. Straight up. I'm 55. I'm active. I'm in shape. I'm going to look good no matter what. So why give a brand? That's what they did to some enslaved people in some lands called the New World to make sure that people knew which plantation they belonged on. A stamp, a label. That's what you still into? Still into that ice? That jewelry? I ain't wearing it. Watches? I ain't wearing it. Because intelligent people, mature people, emotionally mature people don't wear wealth, they invest it. I just don't know, guys. I don't know if there's anything else I can say on this Sunday to convince you that we got all the tools we need to build a second. See, remember, the first 11 is to disguise the problem, to diagnose it. Because most of the times the problems are disguised. You watch the media, they continue to keep you distracted. See, the king own a president. We don't. The king have a president. We ain't got no president. We ain't had no president since, I don't know, the tech industry boomed. And we went from 30 billionaires in 1982 to over 3,000 billionaires today. We ain't had no president since that time. I think technically speaking, let's be real, technically speaking, all of this boom happened under President Bill Clinton's administration. This is when all the billionaires were born because the environment that he created blossomed billionaires. Bill Clinton ain't no better than me. What y'all talking about? I'm trying to create the same environment so that we can boom some black and brown millionaires and billionaires. I don't know how else to tell you that when everyone in our society eats, America gets stronger. When we all eat, we get stronger. Poverty is the daughter of racism, and poverty kills. You think I'm lying? I told y'all I done the research. Poor people live 10 years less than wealthy people in the United States of America. This life and death, homie. Y'all think I'm on here to talk, just to talk? Man, I got a beautiful life. I got a beautiful wife. I got a beautiful family. I got beautiful pets. I got a real good situation going on here. I don't need to be on here. I want to be on here. Come on, man, it's wake up time. The more we eat, the stronger we get. So there's a version of capitalism over here What I was always told in the United States of America is that monopolies are no good. Monopolies are illegal. But somebody seems to have a monopoly on capitalism. They got their store. They don't want us in it. That was obvious during my grandparents and my parents' generation. See, you guys act like everything happened so long ago. Y'all wild, man. Y'all wild. Y'all really wild. See, my parents were already out of high school before the Civil Rights Act was passed. So their whole childhood into early adulthood, back of the bus, back of the store, colored water fountain. I didn't say somebody in a textbook. I said my damn mama and daddy, my aunties, my uncles. A lot of them still alive today. And that's the crap you put them through. It's disgusting. It's disrespectful. Racism kills people. Slowly but surely. But it kills the people who the racism is aimed at faster. I'm not letting y'all take years off my life just because you don't trust your partner. He did you wrong 14 years ago and you still holding on to that crap. Grow up, man. People change. People mature. People get better. People deepen their connection with their creator. And they understand that instead of searching for God everywhere in the world, you recognize that the reason that you are talking, breathing, walking, enjoying life is because the very God you're searching for is alive inside of you. God is energy. Money is energy. I was taught as a young man, money is the root of all evil. Bible says money makes the world go round because money is energy. And you guys give your energy away way, way too fast. Like, be a money virgin. Is that such a thing? Is there a thing as a money virgin? I think it is. We're going to go new term, money virgin. A money virgin. We're going to approval. Yeah, money virgin. Let's be a money virgin. Let's keep our coins. You'll see things that I'm placing on Facebook. It's subliminal messaging because the messaging that we got before, you're not good enough, you're too dark, you're not smart enough, you don't understand the economy. You wouldn't know how money flows. There's microeconomics and there's macroeconomics. This is the way the stock market works. This is the consumer price index, right? This is commodities. See, this information is out there and it's accessible to every one of us. But it's all about what you spend your time on. You tell me what you spend your time doing, and I guarantee you, I can tell you whether or not you are financially stable or if you're shaking it every week. Shaking every week is living paycheck to paycheck. It's being very unstable. And people see you out and they ask you what? Why ain't you smiling? Hey, pretty lady, where that smile at? Why don't you smile? See, pretty lady dealing with some pretty damn big problems. Pretty lady got 3 babies that she trying to feed. Pretty baby ain't heard from baby daddy in about 2 months. We're not getting ready to start stereotyping black men, though. I think you guys have probably seen new studies that have come out this year that tell you that black men are the most involved men in the lives of their children of any men in America. But the stereotype exists because they want to change your mind about who you are. I can't trust you to do business if you don't take care of your kids, dog. Y'all see what a subliminal messaging does? So I'm changing all of that subliminal messaging. Don't ever get it twisted when you see my Facebook page. You see me talk about race because race is the father of a lot of evil things here. Racism is. And in order for us to get after racism, we got to make sure our daddy is just as rich as their daddy. Because the daddy with the most money wins in America. And you guys know that. Ask Puff Daddy. He had $1 billion, but it wasn't enough to keep him out of jail. But y'all around here talking about where them files at for another case, where the files at. The Kings haven't given permission for the files to be released. Wake up. It's bad for business. It is bad for capitalism. It is bad for the stock market for that type of information to be released to the general public because we, the people, stand in the way of them, the billionaires. It's time to wake up. We're going to build a separate economy. We're going to do co-oping. I've told you, I've given you an example or two, beer runs, last call for alcohol, beer run, throw some money together. I'm going to need some gas money if I'm going to take you over here. All of that is co-oping. We're just going to take that, raise it to a formal level, reach out, start building networks. Again, grocery stores, our own. We need to control our own food supply. Land. We need to be buying land. You know the Chinese government owns more land in the United States than Black people do. But y'all worried about what? Tariffs? Come on, man, lock in. Stay with me. We're going to go to some amazing places if you just allow me to help you see things in a different light than what the capitalists have done. So they've got their capitalism. We're going to create ours. When everybody eats, America gets stronger. America gets bolder. Our people and our communities get healthier. Not one hood did we build. Not one. I've already told you 98%, 900 million acres are owned by someone else. We ain't build no hoods. And that's okay. Because we're going to build real communities. We'll leave the hood for whoever needs the hood. Homeless people can use that space. Co-opting allows for that. It allows for us to enter a new phase of life where we empty the projects and we make it temporary housing for people who are looking to get on their feet. We get them financially literate. We tap into their space. What do you like to create? What do you do well? How can we contribute and mass produce that for global consumption? The worst thing in America to be called is not gay. It is not racist. It is not fat, overweight. It is not dumb. It is not ugly. The worst thing you can be called in America is a consumer. And that's what we all have been for far too long. We're going to go from consumer to capitalist, but we're going to be compassionate capitalists because money is a wonderful tool to repair, to help, to build, to prosper. We've got the solutions here at 1111. I just need you guys to come back, check in with me week after week, and I can assure you, we're going to do this in phases. We've got 5 categories. Remember that $12 billion example I gave you for the Black church? Imagine if the Hispanic churches, who collect in excess of 14 million, imagine combining that money. That's $26 billion combined. 5 pots. We split it 20% each. Housing, which is land ownership and housing, education, our food supply, investing in technologies, and banking. We get those 5 areas done. We back to playing 5-on-5 with Joey, who likes to take his damn ball home. He got his 5, we got our 5. Let's hoop. Hey, look, this has been Jay Steele. This is the 1111 podcast. I am super excited that we have finally created a space for us on Facebook. Not famous people, just us, just people who are only interested in lifting each other up. I love you guys. It's been a great time sharing the morning with you. Kurt Rose, I see you. Tim Sanders, I see you. Kyrie Davis, nephew, I see you, man. Love you guys, man. It's been a wonderful time. I'll catch you guys next week. Stay up, stay active, stay enlightened. Help your people out. When we leave from 11:11, it's never goodbye. It's simply peace. Y'all take care. I'm out.